Hey everybody. Ugh. Can I change this font on here because I don't really like this. Makes it look like I got lipstick on. That's what I get for messing with stuff. Maybe I just ooh. Okay, I don't have the time. So hey everybody, day 15. I'm excited. We are almost halfway through. I'm here. I have my question. It is, what is your favorite book you're reading right now and why? I'm always reading a book, always reading a few. I always have one on Audible or Libby for like the audio version of a book. I always have an ebook type thing, so on Libby or Kindle. I always have a handheld book. Those are the three, yeah. I cannot just say a favorite. So I'm just gonna just think of the few I'm reading right now. The Big Leap is amazing. Gay Hendricks, he actually does seminars. He teaches you basically how to find your genius zone, do what you are sent here to do, how to operate in that genius zone. And then he does a lot of mental work around it too, body work and things like that. So the Big Leap is great at helping you identify like what is it that lights you up, what turns you on, what should you be doing, what could you do forever, and helps you to answer those questions. And he also talks about the fears of doing those things. Why do some of us know what we want to do, but we aren't doing it? He talks about those fears. I think it's like 9 basic ones, and he goes into details and just helps you to understand why you do the things you do or why you're afraid to do something you know you would love to do. So I'm reading that, The Big Leap. Another book I'm reading is called, I always mess this title up, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. And it's by Joe Dispenza. I don't know if he's a scientist. If he's not, he uses physicists and scientists to do research. Everything he does is over years of research. And he's proven that we can heal our bodies. We can literally create our reality by our thoughts. And so he teaches, and he does like week-long retreats where they're like super in-depth. He does like 4-day, I think 4-day and 7-day, and maybe even longer. And he has virtual stuff where you learn the power of your mind. So this book is like mind-blowing. I'm only like in the first couple of chapters, and he explains very well what we thought energy was. Like, you know how like in school you learned about energy is like the little circle with the little Q-tips coming from them, and like where most things was like matter, whereas actually it's been discovered that we're 99.9999% nothing really. And when things solidify, that's how you see what you see. And I'm like super paraphrasing. He goes into much detail about this, but he basically proves, him and other people have proven that we're mostly energy, and that's why our thoughts can literally create our reality. It's hard to explain. So he talks about like quantum physics, quantum leaps. He's given examples like when you decide something with your thoughts and you stick to those thoughts, you automatically have to become that person that has that thought, if that makes sense. He speaks about how oftentimes most of us, because we get plugged in by our sensory factors, right? So hearing, touch. So when you wake up in the morning, your sensory factors plugs you into the environment, plugs you into this matrix, whatever. And he talks about how we live off of past experiences, you know. So when you wake up and you're thinking about what you got to do today, issues that have happened before, and we go, our brain is not made to help us thrive. We're supposed to survive with our brain. So we use our brain and we think about, okay, like you see a person at work that you always have beef with, like your experience with that person is 100% based off the past. And so he proves with really good terms that helps just like anybody understand how you literally create the same future because you continue to live, operate, react, think off the past. It's a super deep book. So Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, I think it's called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, How to Lose Your Mind and Create a New One. Amazing. And he has very good YouTube videos too. He doesn't have a channel where people interview him, so he kind of breaks those kinds of things down. He's got powerful meditations and all that. And then another little, it's a smaller book, but I think it's very impactful, is What You Think About Me Is None of My Business. I forgot her name, but it's a very old book. And she addresses just the fear we have around what other people think, and why we stay in these boxes of being the same or wanting to be more of the same and different, and how to move through that. So those are my 3 books that I'm reading right now. And what's my quote today? Oh, I think I lost it. Hold up. Okay, I can kind of remember because I read it because I'm at work. So I read it already and I took a picture. And I can't go to my pictures right now. So the quote was, there is no virtue in being broke and no sin in being wealthy. I might be off a word or two, but it's by George Shaw. And to me, that quote talks about how I think many of us grew up, especially if you grew up in religious households, that money was evil, like money is the root of all evil. And the things that we learn from that, it actually creates limiting beliefs in our minds as children around money. And so as adults, we actually do things and or don't do things to hinder the accumulation of money, to hinder the benefits that money comes from, when actuality, when they say it's no sin in being wealthy, we can do more good with being rich than not. But we have a very negative mindset, especially middle class and poor people, about rich people and what it is to be rich, when we all have the same 24/7, same opportunities, but we just think differently about money. So I think when he made that quote, it was more about there is nothing wrong with having money. And in actuality, if you can do more with money, then is it not a sin to, I may have read that quote wrong, but is it not a sin to actually be poor? Like when I was reading this article or whatever he had wrote about that. Because we're supposed to give and be of our highest self, and the amount of money you accumulate is directly related to the amount of service you bring into this world and how you are showing up as yourself. So if you're not getting much of it, there's something you're not doing the best of. That makes sense without confusing anybody. So his argument was just that, like, if you're being yourself, giving your all for the grace of God, for doing God's work, then you automatically will accumulate money, because it's going to come to you, and you have to understand what money is, the energy of money, to actually understand that. It's not a concept that's easily understood, because we're taught as children that money is evil. People with a lot of money are evil. When you have more money, bad things happen. Like all this bullshit that we have been taught as children, which keep most of us broke and or subconsciously pushing money away. We say we want more of it, but we do and think in a way that is not telling the universe that. So that's what that quote is for me. Gotta go. Day 15 in the books. I'll see y'all tomorrow, either here or IG. Blessings.